Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So, I've got something for all of my gamers today. Grand Theft Auto, I'm sure some of you have heard of that. I think GTA 6 is supposed to come out Q1 of 2026. So, what I wanted to do was just go over some of the stocks that are associated with GTA 6, and the main one, Take Two Interactive, the one who actually puts it out. So I thought this would be interesting. Their graphics are amazing. They look so real and lifelike. And like I said, it's GTA 5 was a big hit. I'm sure GTA 6 is going to be an even bigger hit. So I just thought we'd look into the stocks and see what they're looking like. So come on, let's go. We're on Take Two Interactive, and I have Sony, which owns PlayStation. They are the yellow line, and I have Microsoft, which owns Xbox, which is the blue line. Now there is another company that puts out software called EA, and they have just been acquired by another company. So their stock has ran up like super crazy. Today it's like 4.5%. Um, because the buyout was for $210 a share. But notice over here in the corner, it's talking about an analyst rating with $200 price target, noting that EA's acquisition could affect Take Two's valuation and assets. So I haven't read the story, but EA is in the same space as Take Two Interactive, which is actually owned by Rockstar Games. So, but these are the three companies that we're going to look at that's connected to Grand Theft Auto 6. And so the actual candlesticks is Take Two Interactive. And like I said, yellow Sony, blue is Microsoft with Xbox. And so Sony and Take Two pretty much are moving almost in sync. Microsoft has had some really big swings. It's moving overall. Like this drop, they all had the drop, they all recovered, but Microsoft kind of just had a Red Bull and grew some wings. Um, at one point, where the other two, they were going up, but not like Microsoft. So what we're gonna do is look at each one of these. I'm gonna delete those off the screen now. And we're just gonna look at each one of them individually. So the first one's Take Two Interactive. I am on the weekly time frame. What do I notice? That in November of 2022, basically this was our last move down, and we kind of ran up. And it's been a nice little ride here. Let's see here. From this low to this high, 171 points in a couple years. Not bad. Whether you were holding shares or if you were long in options. Um, we are at all time highs, which we are with a lot of stocks. We are at all time highs. So, at some point, we're going to have to take a little pullback, as we saw in some of these areas, other areas, that it'll be time for a little pullback at some point here soon. Now, I don't have no glass bottle. I mean, no crystal ball. I don't have a genie in the bottle to tell me when that's going to happen. This thing could push up wherever it wants to go and come down when it wants to come down. But looking at the chart, at some point we will experience a pullback in the price. So that I can see from looking at the chart. Now, Take Two has earnings November 6th. So earnings season is coming up. So they are one of the companies that will have earnings in November. So we will see what that looks like. Now we can also see some key stats over here. Um, and I don't like how that really looks. So we'll just look at it over here. So the white dot is the estimate and the green dot is the actual. So they've done pretty good. They did really good Q1, and this is about to be Q2 that we are going to report here soon. So they've done really, really well so far. Um, yeah, really good. They had a nice, and so we go down here, we can look at their performance. 70% up for the year. So that's from January 2025 until now. And then 40% up year to date. I'm sorry, 70% is year over year. So that's from September 29th last year, 2024, until September 29th, 2025. Year to date is from January 1st, 2025 until today. So, not bad performance at all so far for them. So, looking good. But we do have this $200 price target, which is approximately um, from where we currently are. It's at 58 bucks down. So we'll see how that works out. So you can always scroll over here and look at the stats of the company. This buy and analyst rating, like I look at it, but I don't pay it a whole lot of mind. There's a lot of information over here that you can go and look at about the company. Um, so we have all time high. I'm just going to label that. And then we have what's above all time high, which we don't know yet. Um, what I would be looking for, so 261, actually 47. It's not exact. I just eyeballed it. So then you get your to get your one way is psychological levels. So 260, 270, and these are not going to be perfect. These are going to be roundabout your 280, 290, 300. These are your psychological levels. So when we get to all time highs, typically price will continue to go up, but at some point, we are going to get these people showing up. Bears. So right now, the bulls are in charge. I know it's a reindeer, but pretend it's a bull. It's all I got. It's all I got. So right now, the bulls are in charge. They're pushing this thing up. They've been pushing it up since November 2022. At some point, they're going to find a row of bears here that basically say the bucks stop here. You are not going any further, and we're about to push back. So that has not happened as of yet. They haven't met these bears. I don't really know where they are. I'm not indicating they're at this level. I'm just saying they're up here somewhere. That's all I'm saying is that they're up here somewhere. And when that happens is when we'll get the pushback. So, what I want you to understand about the market is it is really just two things happening. There's either more buyers than sellers or more sellers than buyers. One of the two things are happening. Um, and who's in control is basically right now, like I said, we're gonna pretend our reindeer is a bull. Are the bulls? They're pushing this price up. Now, short intervals, do the bears come in and actually like show up? So yeah, there was a line of them right here. They basically pushed up, and the bears said the buck stop here, and they pushed back for a couple of weeks, and then the bulls came right here and they were like, the bucks, oops, not that one. The bucks stop here for you, and we are going to push this thing up. So it's really this beautifully orchestrated dance of who's in control whenever. And ultimately, the bulls are always in control because the market is designed to profit. It is designed for companies to come in and basically offer a share in their organization to raise money in order to further research, build out new products, whatever it is. So at the end of the day, the market is bullish overall. That's what it is. But the market, think of it as running. You can only run so long and you need a little break. You can't run forever. So if you look at these as runs, like we took a little run, I had to take a break. We took a run, I had to take a break. Another run, another break. Another run, another break. And it's basically just bears and bulls sitting at various places, pushing price up and pushing price down. That's all that's happening here. So y'all get the picture. We got the bears, and the bears are on top, bulls are on the bottom, and we're in a downtrend. um, the bulls are it's still the same, but obviously it looks different because it's sloping a little different. But that's all that's going on here. Is bears and bulls hashing this out. So $200 price target. This is what someone has given right here. And these are eyeballed. I'm not trying to be perfect. Y'all get it. And then, anyway, this is a good leeway into support and resistance. It's not an exact line anyway, it's more of an area. So, technically, it kind of looks more like this than that line. Why is that? Because you'll see price will push through, price will break out of something and then come back in. So it's an area where we're looking for bears or bulls to show up. So support is when we are looking for the bulls to show up, and resistance is where we're looking for the bears to show up. How strong they show up, we don't know. But in order for them to reverse, it takes them a little bit of time. It's a delicate song and dance. And like I said, that's what I wanted you to really understand here, as well as Take Two Interactive is one of your GTA 6 stocks. And where are we going? One of these levels, it could even go higher. So remember, the market is always bullish overall, always bullish. But bears control for short amount of time. And this, don't forget, this is a weekly chart. So great stock. It'll be interesting to see what their earnings look like here in a couple weeks. And we will go off to the next stock, which will be Sony. Now, is your Sony is the company that makes the PlayStation. And like I said, their stock pretty much looks just like Take Two Interactive. So they make PlayStation, but I don't know if I would trade Sony. That's just me. Maybe buy shares, but I don't know if I would try to trade Sony. So Sony kind of reversed back here October 2022, just the smidget before Take Two Interactive. But their price back here was like $12. Now it's about 29, you know, almost double of what it was back then, but it just doesn't necessarily move a whole lot. And yeah, I just personally, I would not trade Sony if I wanted to trade something associated with GTA 6. But I want to show you. So same thing. We are at all-time highs up here, just like we are on Take Two Interactive. Um, Once again, price can go higher. It's going to be, and for this one, just because the way it moves, I would say like 35, 40, 45. I would probably go in $5 increments versus 10 to $20 increments like I may do on some other stocks. So yeah, I think it just doesn't move a lot. So it's gonna take it a minute to do what it's gotta do. But because we're at all-time highs, just like Take Two Interactive, we are looking for a pullback at some point. When, don't know because I don't have a crystal ball. All I know is that at some point we can go higher. Uh, and even five seems kind of like a lot for this one when you're looking at it. So maybe you want to go two, your whole numbers, maybe 32, 34, 35. Maybe you want to go those increments, change those increments. It just doesn't move a whole lot. And this is why I wouldn't trade Sony personally. Um, and then that's pretty much it. We're up here at all-time highs. If we look over here, they do well overall as far as earnings. They don't pay dividends. Lots of revenue, net income. I mean, it's not that bad. Year over year, this is from September 2025 until, excuse me, September 2024 until September 2025. It's up 40%. Year to date, it's up 30%. So the majority of this really is 2025. They have some seasonal scales. I really haven't paid attention to these, so can't give you a lot of advice. And that we have the technicals, the rating. So just want to show you that for each of the stocks that we look at. But once again, at some point, this will need to take a little breather, cool off, and then continue to push up. But that's where we are right now. And our last one, you guys are very familiar. Microsoft. So Microsoft is Xbox. And I need my little disclaimer up here because I'm not trying to give y'all financial advice. I'm just telling you what's on these charts that I see. So Microsoft has had one heck of a run. Let's just look over here. Um, because it's one of the Magnificent Seven, year over year up 20%, year to date basically up 20%. So probably the majority of this year over year is coming from January until currently, which is September 29th, 2025. So that's probably what we're seeing there. It has just been crazy. If we go all the way back, it came on the scene in 1987. And basically, once it made this turn July 5th of 2016, it has not looked back. We had a couple little dips here. Coronavirus is like so minuscule. This is the coronavirus pullback compared to like the pullback that we had for 2022, 2021, and 2022. But this looks like just a little bleep in the road. And that's why, as far as like investing, you want to have that long term perspective because I'm going to keep reminding you overall, the market is designed to go up and that's what it's going to do. But it will take these breathers every now and then. It's what it does. So, but yeah, it's funny how coronavirus just looks. At the time, it felt like the world was coming to an end, but when you look at it in the big scheme of the chart, it's like such a tiny little bleep. Um, but yeah, it has done nothing, excuse me, but go up. So from this fall, November 2022, and this is when most things started to turn, October, November of 2022, and started to come back up again. Um, it has gone up to where we kind of where we are right now. $300. That's not bad for a couple years. That's from October 2022, so about 3 years. Here actually in a minute because it's going to be October, couple days here. So $300, not bad. If you were holding shares, even if you had 10 shares, um, it's like 3 grand. I mean, not bad for just let some sit and hold. So, um, nice. So Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard for 69 billion, a major deal in the gaming sector following EA's 55 billion acquisition by a group of investors. So they're basically shrinking the playing field over here of the gaming sector. So we had EA acquired by some people. Now we've got Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. So they're basically kind of shrinking this section of gaming here to a few key players. So just like on the other ones, we have hit some all-time highs and we've pulled back a little bit. I do expect at some point a pullback. Once again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know where it's going. Um, but once again, you can always put your levels at the psychological. So this is 150. You'd have 16, excuse me, 560, 570. Y'all get the point. 560, 570, 580, 590, 600. You can go in $25 increments, whatever floats your boat, to the upside, as far as, because there's nothing up here to look left for. Um, and like I said, at some point we're gonna get a nice little pullback. This is, I know it looks terrible, but this is a pullback. These are all little pullbacks. None of these are crash and burn. Like I said, even when you look at Corona, it's just a little bleep on the chart now compared to what it felt like back then. So, Microsoft is your Xbox. It is the other stock that you can trade for Grand Theft Auto. So, if you happen to trade, I would love to hear in the comments like which one is your favorite. Have you traded them before? And do you plan on actually investing in any of these companies, trading and or long term? And that could be a way that you can buy your Xbox or your Sony PlayStation and buy the game when it comes out. So use the companies that make the stuff to pay for the purchases that you want to make. This way, technically, you're out of no money out of your pocket. All right, people, that's my time. I hope this was helpful. You guys take care, and I will talk to you in another video.